Hello, everyone. I'm Jake.
And I'm Ella. Welcome to the English Speaking Show.
Ella, how are you feeling today?
Honestly, a little overwhelmed. I have been answering comments all week.
All week?
All week. Every single day. Each comment is different. Some are questions, some are stories, some are just people saying hello.
That is actually a really nice problem to have.
It is. And one thing I keep noticing in the comments, people mix up three very small words.
Which ones?
Each, every, and all.
Learners say things like, almost each person agreed with me, or I love every music,
And both of those are wrong.
even though they sound almost right.
Exactly, and that is what makes them so tricky. They feel right, but there are real differences in grammar, in meaning, and in the picture each word creates in your mind.
Today, we are going to make each, every, and all completely clear. Which one to use, when to use it, and why.
And if this kind of lesson helps you, hit subscribe. We have new episodes every single week, and you do not want to miss it. Okay, so all three words, each, every, and all, mean 100% of a group. Every single one.
So why do we even have three words? Why not just pick one and stick with it?
Because each word sees the group differently. Think of it like this. Imagine your team at work. Each sees them one by one. Every sees them all together, and all sees the total.
So I could be describing the exact same group of people, but depending on which word I choose, the picture in my mind is different.
Exactly that. Okay, each first.
One by one.
One by one. When you use each, you are mentally going through the group individually. This person, then that one, then that one.
Like at our last team lunch, I was trying to remember everyone's order. Jake got pasta, Maria got soup, David got the sandwich with extra cheese.
See, that is each. You are going around the table one by one.
And I would say, each person ordered something different.
Exactly. And here is the grammar. After each, always a singular noun. Each person, each employee, each day. Never each person's or each employee's.
Because you're thinking about one at a time.
Right. And the verb is singular too. Each person orders, not order.
What about each of? Like each of the employees.
Same idea. When the noun is already mentioned or when you are using a pronoun, you add of. Each of the employees, each of us, each of them.
He gave each of us a different task. She called each of them individually.
Perfect. And here's something most people never know about each. You can actually put it after the subject in the middle of the sentence.
What do you mean?
They each received a bonus. We each paid for our own meal. Each follows the subject and the meaning is the same, but it puts a little extra weight on every individual person.
Wait, so I can say each employee received a bonus, or I can say they each received a bonus, and they both mean the same thing?
Both correct, both natural.
So, I genuinely did not know that.
Most people do not.
Speaking of things I did not know about each, can I tell you something embarrassing?
Please.
A few months ago, I wrote an email to my manager. I wanted to say that most of the team agreed with the decision, so I wrote, almost each person on the team agreed.
Oh.
My colleague saw it before I sent it. She quietly changed it to almost every person and said nothing.
She was being very kind.
But why is that wrong? I still don't fully understand.
Because almost and nearly can never go with each. They only work with every and all.
Because
Almost means close to 100%, not quite the full group. That's a group idea, and each is never about the group, it's always about individuals, so they don't work together.
almost every person, nearly all the team, never almost each.
Never almost each.
I almost wrote that in a work email to my manager.
Well, now you will never write it again.
One more thing. I was reading something the other day and I saw she wore an earring in each ear. Is that right? Can you use each with just two things?
Yes, each works for two or more, but every needs at least three. So two ears, only each is correct. You cannot say every ear when there are only two.
So if I'm talking about two things, each, three or more, each or every both work.
Exactly. And quick, one mistake people make constantly. They say each employees received bonuses.
Should be each employee received a bonus, singular noun, singular verb, always.
Each goes one by one person, one noun, one verb.
Got it. So each is the word for when you're thinking about them individually, one at a time.
Yeah. So we talked about each, one by one, individual focus. Now let's discuss about the word every. Every is interesting because on the surface, it looks almost identical to each. Same grammar, singular noun, singular verb. But the feeling is completely different.
Different how?
With each, you are going through the group one by one. This person, that person, that person. With every, you are looking at the whole group together, all of them as one.
Like every employee received a bonus. I'm not picturing individual people. I'm looking at the whole company and saying nobody was left out.
Exactly. Every has this sense of without exception, the whole group, no one excluded.
And the grammar is the same, singular noun.
Same. Every employee, every Monday, every decision. Always singular noun, always singular verb.
Okay, so every employee receives a bonus, not receive.
Exactly right. And here's the difference in practice. Each employee received a different bonus. Different bonuses going to each person individually. Every employee received a bonus. The whole company got one, no exceptions.
So with each person might get something different. With every, the same thing applies to all of them.
That is a really clean way to put it, actually.
Occasionally I say something useful.
You do. Okay. Every is also the word for time, for intervals, for routines.
Like every Monday?
Every Monday, every 2 hours, every 15 minutes, every other week. Whenever something happens regularly, every is the natural choice.
I never thought about that. I just used it automatically.
Because it sounds right. I check my messages every hour. She calls her mother every Sunday. The team meets every 2 weeks.
And this connects back to the hook. Almost every person. Almost and nearly go with every, never with each.
Because almost means close to the whole group, and every is the group word.
So every, the whole group, no exceptions, and great for time. Every Monday, every 2 hours.
Exactly. And here's the thing. Every and each both have one limitation, a big one.
What limitation?
They only work with things you can count. 1 employee, 2 employees. 1 day, 2 days. Countable. But what about things you cannot count? Music, luggage, information, advice.
You cannot say one music, two musics.
Exactly. And this is where all becomes essential, because all is the only one of the three that works with uncountable nouns.
Okay, and this is where I need to be honest. I have definitely said I love every music before.
Yeah, that one comes up a lot.
Show me the wrong way so I can actually hear the difference.
Okay, wrong way. I love every music.
Correct way, I love all music.
Why?
Because music is uncountable. You cannot count individual musics, so every and each cannot be used, only all.
One more. Wrong way. Please bring each luggage to the front desk.
Right way, please bring all luggage to the front desk.
Same reason. Luggage is uncountable. 1 luggage, 2 luggages, that is not English.
I have definitely said that at an airport.
Most people have. So the fastest test, can you count it individually? 1 piece, 2 pieces, 3 pieces? then each and every might work. Cannot count it, only all.
All information, all advice, all feedback, all money.
All of them, only all.
And all works the same way as each in the middle of a sentence, like they all agreed?
Yes, but the feel is different. They each agreed, each individual person one by one. They all agreed, the whole group together as one movement.
And what about all day? I say that all the time. I was working all day.
Yes, and this is something people mix up constantly. All day means the entire day, without stopping. Non-stop from morning to evening.
So I worked all day means I didn't stop. I work every day means it's my daily routine.
Same words, completely different pictures. Okay, now here's the moment where everything comes together. 3 sentences. All 3 are correct. All 3 describe the same situation, but each one creates a completely different picture in your mind.
Let's hear them.
Sentence 1. Each employee received a bonus.
I pictured the manager going from desk to this person, then that one, individual, personal, one by one.
Sentence 2. Every employee received a bonus.
I pictured the announcement, an email going out to the whole company. Everyone is included, no exceptions, the group as a whole.
Sentence 3. All the employees received bonuses.
I pictured the total workforce, one complete unit, the whole result.
Same situation, 3 completely different mental pictures.
So it's not about what happened, it's about how the speaker is seeing the group in their mind.
That's the whole difference right there.
Okay, can we do the teacher version, like each student passed?
Go on then.
Each student passed. The teacher went through the papers one by one. This one, that one, that one. All good.
Every student passed. She looked at the whole class and thought, everyone has done it. No one failed.
All the students passed. She looked at the total result and,
Goes home and has a very good evening.
honestly, the best outcome.
So, the rule to carry with you. 1 sentence.
Let's hear it.
Each goes one by one. Every takes the whole group. All takes everything, including things you cannot count.
Each goes one by one. Every takes the whole group. All takes everything, including things you cannot count.
Now, you might feel like you have the full picture. The 3 words are clear. The differences make sense.
But we're not done yet.
There are 3 things about these words that we haven't covered yet, and they're genuinely different from everything we just talked about.
First, how do you make these words negative, and why does not every mean something completely different from no? Most learners don't know this distinction.
Second, everyone written as 1 word versus everyone written as 2 words. They look almost identical. The meaning is not the same.
And in the role play coming up, we are going to show you something that only becomes clear when you see all 3 words working together in a real conversation. Something about amounts that will actually surprise you.
These are the things that take you from knowing the rules to actually sounding natural. So stay with us.
Okay, so the first thing you mentioned, making these words negative, because I actually never think about this.
Right. So imagine your manager asks, did everyone pass the exam? And the answer is, some passed, some did not. How do you say that?
I would probably say not everyone passed.
Exactly. And that is a partial negative. Not everyone. Not every. Not all. These mean some, but not all.
Partial meaning part of the group failed, not the whole group.
Right. Not every student passed. Some students failed. Not all the feedback was positive. Some of it was negative. Part of the group, not the total.
But here's where it gets interesting. What if I say no student passed?
Completely different. That means 0. Nobody passed. The entire group failed.
So not every student passed and no student passed, those are not the same at all.
Not even close. Not every student passed. Some failed, some passed. No student passed. everyone failed. 0 passed.
So not every and not all mean some but not all. No and none mean 0.
Exactly. And this matters in real conversations. If your manager asks how the project went and you say not all the clients were happy, that means most were, a few were not. But if you say none of the clients were happy,
That is a very different meeting.
a very different meeting, so choose carefully.
Not all, not every, some but not all. No, none, 0. Got it.
Now, the second one, and this is genuinely one of the most confusing things in written English. Everyone as one word and everyone as 2 words.
They look almost the same.
Almost identical, but the meaning is different. Everyone, one word, means all people as a group, the whole collective, for humans only.
Like, everyone enjoyed the party, the whole group together.
Exactly. Now, everyone, 2 words, means each individual item or person, and it is almost always followed by of.
So, every one of the guests brought a gift.
Every one of the guests. Each individual guest, specifically. More emphatic, more deliberate. You're drawing attention to each individual member.
So, everyone brought a gift, the whole group, but every one of the guests brought a gift. You're thinking about each person individually.
And here's the quick trick to remember. Ask yourself, does everybody work in this sentence? If yes, write everyone as one word.
Try it. Everybody enjoyed the party. Yes, that works. So, everyone, one word.
Now try it with the other one. Everybody of the guests brought a gift?
That sounds completely wrong.
Because it is. Everybody of, that's not English. So everyone, 2 words.
If everybody works, one word. If everybody sounds wrong, 2 words with of.
That trick will save you every time.
And everyone is only for people, not things?
One word, everyone, only for people, but everyone, 2 words, can be for things too. Every one of the reports was late. You can't say everybody of the reports.
Obviously not.
But every one of the reports, each individual report, that works perfectly.
Okay, so not every and not all mean some but not all. No and none mean 0. And everyone, one word, is all people together. Everyone, 2 words, is each individual item or person.
And one more quick thing, each and every. You'll hear this in real English.
Like, I want to speak to each and every one of you?
Exactly. It combines both words for maximum emphasis. Each single individual without exception. It's a fixed expression, very common in speech, especially when someone wants to make a strong point.
Like a manager before a big announcement.
Exactly like that. It's more emphatic than either word alone. Each and every one of you, not a single person is excluded.
Got it. Write in the comments which of these 3 words do you mix up the most? Each, every, or all? We read every single comment. Okay, let us see all 3 words working together in a real conversation.
Let us do a role play. It is the end of the year. Jake and I are colleagues at work. We are having a quick catch-up before the holiday break, looking back at how the year went.
Let's go.
Jake, can you believe the year is almost over?
Honestly, it went so fast. But looking back, I think every project we took on this year was worth it.
Every single one. And what I loved was that each person on the team brought something completely different to the table.
Right. Sarah was incredible with the client presentations. Tom handled all the data. And Mia, honestly, every time she walked into a meeting, the energy changed.
She has that effect on people. And you know what surprised me? All the feedback we received from clients this quarter was positive.
All of it?
Every single piece. Not one negative comment.
That is rare. We each worked really hard for that.
We did. Do you remember that week before the final deadline?
How could I forget? I was working all day, every day for a week straight.
Me too. I had calls every morning, reports every afternoon, and somehow we each managed to get everything submitted on time.
Because we all knew what was at stake.
Exactly. And I think that's what made this year different. Every challenge that came up, we all faced it together, not separately, together.
And each challenge made us better at something different.
That's a good way to put it. Every challenge made us stronger as a group. Each one taught us something individual.
Curious, what about next year? Are you ready?
Ask me again in January. Right now, I just want to enjoy the break. I'm going to do absolutely nothing for 2 weeks.
All day, every day.
All day, every day. Exactly.
Okay, did you notice how naturally all three words kept coming up? Nobody announced them, they just appeared because the conversation needed them.
That's exactly how it works in real English. You're not thinking about grammar, you're thinking about what you want to say, and the right word comes.
Let me break down a few of the moments. Every project we took on this year was worth it. Every, because it means the whole list, without exception. Not one project was a waste.
And each person on the team brought something completely different to the table. Each, because every individual brought something unique, one by one. Sarah brought this, Tom brought that. Mia brought something else entirely.
Right. All the feedback we received was positive. All because feedback is uncountable. You can't say one feedback, two feedbacks. Only all works there.
And we all knew what was at stake. All following the subject. The whole group together as one shared understanding.
And I said all day, every day at the end there. And I realized those two are sitting right next to each other in the same sentence.
And that's the first new thing I want to show you, because all day, every day is a real expression in English, and it uses both words together for a reason.
Because they mean different things even in the same sentence.
Exactly. All day, the entire day, without stopping, continuous. Every day, once per day, as a daily habit. So all day, every day means the entire day, and it happened on each of those days.
So if I say I was studying all day, every day last week, you can picture exactly what my life looked like.
Painful but productive.
Very. So they're not the same word used twice for emphasis. They're actually doing two completely different jobs in the same sentence.
Two completely different time pictures. All day tells you the duration within a day. Every day tells you the frequency across days.
Duration versus frequency. I love that.
Now, the second thing, and this is the one I promised would surprise you. It's about amounts. Did you notice I said we each worked really hard, and later Jake said we all knew what was at stake?
Yes, both in the middle of the sentence, both following we.
Right. Now imagine instead of working hard, we're talking about money. We each contributed 50 pounds to the leaving gift.
50 pounds per person. Each person put in 50 individually.
Now, we all contributed 50 pounds to the leaving gift.
Wait, that could mean two things.
What do you mean?
It could mean each of us contributed 50 pounds, or it could mean together, as a group, we contributed 50 pounds in total.
Exactly. And that's the surprise. When you use all in mid-position with an amount, it can be ambiguous, the total or per person. The listener has to guess from context.
But each is never ambiguous. We each contributed 50 pounds. Always means 50 per person. Always.
Always. Each is precise. All can be unclear when amounts are involved.
So in a work situation, if I want to be clear about how much each person is contributing, I should say each, not all.
Every time. Each for individual amounts. All can leave people wondering.
That is actually really useful. I would never have noticed that from a grammar rule.
You can only see it when you see the words side by side in a real sentence. That is why the role play matters.
Okay, let us bring everything together.
Each, one at a time. Individual focus. Singular noun, singular verb. Can follow the subject in the middle of a sentence. They each, we each. Works for two or more things. And never with almost or nearly. That is every and all only.
Every. The complete group without exception. Singular noun, singular verb. The word for time intervals, every 2 hours, every Monday, every other week, and almost every, nearly every, both completely natural.
All, the total amount, as one unit. The only word that works with uncountable nouns. All music, all information, all advice, all luggage. Can follow the subject too. They all, we all. And remember, all day is not the same as every day. All day means the entire day without stopping. Every day means a daily habit.
And 3 things from the tricky situations. Not every and not all. Partial negatives. Some but not all. No and none. Total. 0.
Everyone as one word, all people together. Everyone as 2 words, each individual item or person, usually followed by of.
And each in mid-position with amounts always means per person, always precise. All in mid-position with amounts can be ambiguous. Use each when you want to be clear.
And the rule to carry with you everywhere.
Each goes one by one. Every takes the whole group. All takes everything, including things you cannot count.
Now, comment challenge. We want you to write one sentence using all 3 words. Each, every, and all in one sentence. Tell us about your week or your work.
For example, each day was different. Every meeting went well, and all the hard work was worth it. Or, each colleague brought something unique. Every deadline was met, and all the feedback was positive.
Your sentence does not need to be perfect. Just write it. Every sentence you write builds your confidence, and we read each and every comment.
And if this episode helped you finally understand these 3 words, please subscribe. We have brand new episodes every single week.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today.
Keep practicing. You are doing better than you think.
See you in the next one.